Hey, what's up, everybody? The VC here, coming at you with another video about anything and everything, and nothing's off the table. And I'm always on one. That's right, of common sense. That's all it is. So anyhow, subscribe, hit the bell icon. That way you could stay up to date on the daily on common sense talk. Right? That's all it is. Just sharing with you common sense and showing you guys the BS and just, you know, tomfoolery. I mean, what kind of, crap do we see out there? And when you see who's really responsible, it's like, wow. It really boggles the mind how, context is huge, right? And how one person can say something, and yet it is completely taken out of context, or portions of it get removed, but yet when someone else says it, it's like it's the same thing, but then they claim it's not. You'll get what I'm saying. I'll show you guys in a minute here. I'm also on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. So if you support, that'd be great. And I went through both avenues. That way I could have a bigger outreach for whatever's more convenient for you. All right, so without further ado, let's just get to it here. So there's this talk about Maxine Waters, this old bag. All right, talk about someone that needs to step down already, like Biden. This one needs to step down. This prehistoric bitch. All right. So Maxine Waters. I guess she's been saying some things that she shouldn't be saying.
The thing we
so let's see what she says.
Over and over again is,
right.
Why do I need a deodorant for private parties? I can just take a shower. So we put
Let's listen.
Okay, over the last few days,
this old bag has to say. All right, let's check it out here.
we did not like this. A ton of anti-Trump chaos agents storming buildings and violently damaging Teslas. Senior advisor to President Trump, Elon Musk, says he's received death threats because he wants to downsize the federal government. But according to California Democrat Maxine Waters, President Trump is the one who wants to incite violence and start a war. Here she.
So he wants to incite violence and civil war, all because of downsizing government. Man, when Bill Clinton was downsizing government in the 90s, man, not a damn outcry. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, people lose their jobs and stuff, but there wasn't like this huge outcry and violence and rhetoric that was being put out there because people lost their jobs, right, when they downsized government. So what's the difference between then and now? Because the Republicans are doing it?
She is.
I'm worried that Trump is on the edge of creating a civil war. He alluded to it more than once.
How?
He alluded to the fact that if he did not get reelected, that there could be a civil war. What does Trump expect? Oh, I believe he expects violence. I believe he expects confrontation.
Yeah, we expect violence because that's what the progressive liberal clowns do, right? They claim to do things peacefully, but yet they go torch Tesla dealerships, they take over buildings, they get, smash windows and smash cars and start fires and all this other crap. Yeah, that's definitely the violence that is expected of progressive lefts, like what she represents in Democrats, progressive liberals, and she's just a clown and an old bag that needs to just step aside, bitch.
I believe he's working toward a civil war.
In her mind, she came from the Civil War. I mean, that's just how old she is. She came from the Civil War. All right.
So over it. That's so played from her. After George Floyd's murder, she would say, get up in their face. I don't even understand it anymore. What is she talking about?
It goes farther back. Remember when Sarah Huckabee Sanders, then White House press secretary, was kicked out of a Virginia restaurant called the Red Hen?
Yeah.
Right after that, Maxine Waters was the first to go out and say, this is a great thing. I want all of the liberals to target Trump people wherever they are, harass them, go after them. She's been on this ever ever since. And by the way, during that period, it was President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama who said, when they go low, we go high. That's out the door, clearly. And now you're seeing her accusing Trump of being the one who wants to incite violence. No one's, I think, really listening seriously to her anymore when she says that, because
she's a
within the span of 24 to 48 hours, there's yet another incident like we saw at Trump Tower, where clearly, obviously, people are driven by her hypocritical message to do just what she's saying the other party's doing.
Well, that's the thing. Where's the responsibility among these lawmakers? Like, they know their words matter. They know that their actions matter. So you see what was happening at Trump Tower yesterday. You know it's not right for those people to go in there on properties where businesses and residents are kept at bay, can't even exit what they're paying to live and work in. And she doesn't see that those words are not helpful?
I don't, quite frankly, think that she cares. I don't think AOC cares. I don't think Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. And what I think it is, kind of going off the same narrative as the last block here, and from what Senator Fetterman said about kind of the free riders, I think that these representatives that are from very deep blue areas that are not worried about re-election, they say these things simply to get a reaction. They want to be shock jocks. They want to say things that are crazy. They want TV time. They want attention. They're not worried about appealing to moderates or centrists or even trying to get reelected, because they know they've either been in there forever or they're in such a deep blue area it doesn't matter. So I think that's why Maxine Waters does what she does. I think she has really no reason not to. It's working for her. She keeps getting back in office. Well, we keep talking about her, and I think maybe that's what they want more than anything.
Well, you're not wrong about that. I mean, if you don't make a change, I guess you're choosing it. This isn't the first time that Maxine Waters has said President Trump wants a civil war. Remember these?
Not only are they planning on a civil war, if they have to do that, but he's spelling it out specifically how and what they're going to do and how he's going to get revenge, how he's going to attack his enemies. He is capable of starting a civil war. He must be impeached. He must be stopped now.
What a clown.
Kaylee?
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing that she's said this before and gotten away with it so many times. You know, let's break apart what she said. She said Trump expects violence. I think the only violence Trump expects is against himself at this point. Because we saw what
he got shot at twice, 2 assassination attempts. And Trump Hotel coincidentally got blown up with a Cybertruck. So, yeah, violence against him. Shit, just violence overall from the left. They're just going to keep doing all this bullshit, torching dealerships and trying to do all this shit. You know, the whole Columbia University thing. That's left progressive violence, right? You know, and anti-Semitism, right? That they were doing at Columbia University and many other universities across America.
Happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. We saw what happened weeks later on that golf course in Florida, his golf course. And she went on to say, as she did in those comments, he's working toward a civil war. What does that mean? After this man has incurred 2 assassination attempts, is on an Iranian hit list, who knows who else wants to target President Trump? You're going to make the American public believe he's rooting for a civil war as if to gin up more violence against him? This is positively nuts. But look,
here, to be honest, the only incitement of civil war that could have possibly occurred, and I talked about it last year, was that Biden was actually kind of working up a civil war, because if had the illegals still continued to flow into the country, they're getting continued benefits of everything coming to them, while we get left out, you know, in the cold. I think there would have been an uprising among American patriots against these, you know, border crossers and illegals. And that could have gone that way. I truly believe it could have gone that way, because we would have had enough is enough. I don't know at what point, but to me, enough is enough. And I seriously would have been a part of that. I would have taken part of that. And be, you know, in this whole civil war of, and in a sense, it was drawing the line between red versus blue, because obviously Democrats supported illegals, you know, and given everything to them, and they take it from us to give everything to them. and enough was enough. It just wasn't there yet. But I truly believe that right there would have been an incitement of civil war caused by the Biden administration.
Democrats are in hiring mode. They're lost in the wilderness, like when Hillary Clinton was lost in the field or the woods after she lost the election. They need a voice to take them out of the wilderness. I nominate Maxine Waters. Hire her today, spokeswoman of the party. This woman, give her that job.
Wow. Emily.
She needs to be one of those Walmart ladies, the greeters at the Walmart stores. You know, they just sit there at the doorway and say, "Welcome to Walmart." You know, they usually have those little old bags. They're their store greeters. You know, she needs to just do that.
I just want to point out that the massive double standard. I agree with you; it's incredibly hypocritical. But could you imagine if someone a little bit younger and on the other side of the aisle was making those comments as frankly incitements to violence that she has in the past?
Give me your name.
Saying that we're going to a civil war.
Can
you imagine if Marjorie Taylor Greene said something like that? Do you realize the uproar and the coverage that we could expect, rightly so, from the mainstream media? And here, I think it's because she's 86 and everyone just went, oh, she doesn't mean it. She's somehow forgiven for these incredibly damaging comments, both to her own party and also to safety. We've talked about the weight and the seriousness and the risk of words. And so I believe, is among the worst offenders in that way. And it sort of kills me that she's somehow given a pass. And I don't quite know why, because the harmless thing that we've attributed to her, I just don't think that flies. Again, because we've seen what words can do, and we've seen when people with nefarious intent have come to judges' lawns and congressmen's lawns and the like.
How does she afford a $4.3 million mansion?
Yeah, so I'm not sure where that accountability is. But it's stale. And to me, this is the new, by the way, constitutional crisis that we saw for a second. Right? There's always like a hot button, a hot comment of the week by the Dems.
Legally,
right
can
now
somebody say something to Maxine Waters?
Well, at this moment, I don't know if there's an actionable damage that has been done. But if I were leadership of her party, whoever's at the helm, I would say you need to curb your vernacular.
At the very minimum,
step away from censure.
On the House floor, you know, those comments are usually...
You know, I wrote down what you said because I had never heard anybody play the over 85 card. That's how I interpreted what you said. She's getting a pass. Yes. I mean, and it's a blessing to live that old. But if you're going to spew hate and try to start wars, that's you can't play that
She's still a
card.
sitting congresswoman. That's the thing. You know, we might see her as, oh, it's just an old lady. Like, you're not. You're actually, you should behave and conform with ethics and vernacular.
She's a prehistoric clown.
Voting for her. So this all goes
get
back to that.
Welcome to California.
Reprimand people as much as you want, but until you show the voters that there's a better way, we're going to be stuck with them. And AOC, who is much younger, who will be around a much longer time if her district doesn't understand.
She's like a chihuahua. You know, like AOC is a chihuahua, right? She's, you know, those little tiny dogs that you're just walking or whatever, and they just keep, you know, yapping away and running, you know, biting, you know, snipping and biting at your leg, and you're trying to kick them back, and they just keep doing it, yapping, biting on your leg, and you just want to kick the shit out of it. That's what AOC is to me, you know, like
You could buy on your own. You could get a lender, get showing.
Oh, let me close that out. Let me see here. Let me see here. There we go. Let's play this DC Shorts here. It's pretty funny here. Old bag.
I take you, body, in sickness
what
and
are you
in
doing
health.
standing here? What is your name?
There are about a dozen lawmakers, Democrats, attempting to get a meeting with the acting education secretary.
This man had to block these rabid Democrats from getting into the Department of Education offices, and what's so incredible about this video is that his face reflects that of every common sense person in America. Watch the annoyed torment of this man.
And block members of Congress from going to the desk. Doing my job.
So everybody's freelancing.
What is that? We're doing our job. Who told you to do this? Open the door. We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, we're security. There are thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress.
They're members of Congress. That's even worse, lady.
Do you understand who members of Congress are?
I got it, yeah.
And you don't care. Who are we then?
I got the job.
The
kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
Fuck out of here.
Go ahead, get it all in. Make sure you're right in the middle so the camera can see you. Now's when it gets good. The wacky Maxine Waters hour kicks in. Watch this old lady make an absolute fool of herself. Here we go. Take it away, Maxine.
Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here, all access entrance.
They're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us. They're calling them out on us. Look behind this door.
Yeah.
Who do you see back there?
The doors will open.
Do
It's
they
called
have
security.
guns on them?
Yes.
Do
We
they
don't
have
have any
guns?
weapons.
Do you know
Yeah,
that
it's
they're
called security,
responsible
so
for
you
all
guys
of the
don't
student
intrude.
loans in this country?
I hear that they want to cut those student loans
That's
and
right.
give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
And are they aware of Title I, where mothers are getting up, going to work for minimum wages, and they cannot control and this man is blocking the door. He says he's a federal employee. He won't tell us who gave him permission to do this.
Does this remind you of the other people who have blocked the schoolhouse doors before?
Yes.
Fuck out of here. All you guys get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. This is going to go out in history.
Yeah.
The man who blocked the doors of the Department of... Hold your face up so they can see you. Get a good copy of him. Let him get recorded in history for what he's doing today. Let his children see him.
Yeah.
Let his children know that
Oh my
he was
gosh.
standing in the way of all children being
yeah.
educated.
Oh, yeah. I feel
Look
so
them
bad.
in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look
Yeah,
at him.
I feel
Let
so
him
bad.
see you. This is him. Look at it.
I
What's
feel
your
so
name?
bad.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
The ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID?
What a clown. Show me your ID. Get the fuck out of here, you know? Shit. And so there's shit like that, you know? Meanwhile, let's see here. Since we're talking about Department of Education and all that, and derangement, you know, you have Columbia University arrest, especially the main guy here, Khalil, arrested. And since he's on a green card, you can still get booted out of here for your actions. And so you have that. You have student loan payments skyrocket as millions of income-based payment plans are halted. And you know why? It's because the forgiveness and the giveaways of the Biden administration are over. It's time to pay up. All right? And that's just what it is. Sorry, you shouldn't have taken all those school loans if you think you're, you know, on to something. So let's see what they got to moan and cry about now.
There's an overwhelming sense of uncertainty looming over Hannah Contreras' future.
This has made a permanent lump in my throat.
Her monthly federal student loan payments skyrocketing.
My student loan payment has gone up $905
every month. While it might sound like something a loan shark would do, doubling or tripling payments without notice, it's actually because of a dramatic change at the Department of Education. Not from staffing cuts, not even DOGE, but a broad interpretation of a court order. Some student loan repayment plans based on income are suddenly halted, affecting 13 million borrowers, according to the National Consumer Law Center. It's all in response to ongoing litigation over what the Biden administration called the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, where monthly payments are based on income and family size, an attractive option for millions of graduates just getting started.
Borrowers who've made the required number of payments in the SAVE plan would normally be eligible to have their remaining balance canceled.
Last year, several conservative-leaning states challenged the plan, saying it would require spending up to $475 billion not authorized.
So Biden tried to okey-doke with this SAVE plan, and it's kicking them in the ass now because, you know, I guess supposedly you're going to be promised forgiveness, and yet it's making the states eat up student debt. That sounds like definitely a Democratic progressive idea that's plainly stupid, and now it's kicking everybody in the ass because the states are like, hey, we're not on board with this shit.
Authorized by Congress. And a recent temporary order by the Eighth Circuit Court in Missouri broadened the scope of the case to some other income-based plans, too.
In response to the court order, the Department of Education, without any explanation, simply pulled down all of the applications for the income-driven repayment plans.
We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, but have yet to hear back. On the website, it says applications are temporarily unavailable due to the court's injunction. Consumer law experts like Abby Safroth say the DOE is going further than it needs to.
It could keep allowing borrowers to apply for and to stay in the other plans.
Now Contreras, with her monthly payments soaring and no increase in salary, is trying. What's next?
I did everything I was supposed to so that I could be in the desk I'm in right now. And yet I may have been better off doing something different.
She's a mother of two with a master's degree. Today she's working as a therapist in a community mental health clinic in Oregon. She says it's important work, but it doesn't come with a large paycheck.
I can pay the loans. I never said I couldn't pay them. I just said I need to be able to do it in the ways we were told when we were 18 that we would be able to.
Contreras and many more looking for clarity as their options seem narrower than ever.
Rahema Ellis is joining us now. So, Rahema, what are the options now for borrowers like Contreras?
Well, they're not great for many people, but we should say those who are under the Biden-era income plan, they already have an option, and that is that their payments have been paused since last year with no interest accruing, and that's a result of the lawsuit that has been, we talked about earlier. But those borrowers who are part of some other options, payment plans, well, they can also have their payments paused. But, Hallie, here's the rub. The interest continues to accrue month after month after month. So that means that they're going to owe a lot more money at the end of all of this when they finally do make a payment. And you have to ask yourself, people have to ask themselves, what are they going to do? Do they find the money from somewhere, dig deep to find the money to make the payments now and to make so the interest stays reasonable, if you will, or to pause?
Well, in the end, it just tells you that you shouldn't just go to school and expect to be forgiven, because that's not the whole idea of taking this higher education, right? It's to make sensible decisions, being responsible if you pull a school loan. Maybe go to a different school, like a trade school or junior college, where the costs are not so high, right? And then figure out if you're able to bridge yourself to get to a higher degree at some point, if you can. Don't just do it just because you got nothing else going on, and then all of a sudden you expect big things to happen with a higher degree or loan forgiveness in that context. So yeah, that teaches you a lesson about fiscal responsibility, and don't expect the government to bail you out. That's what Democrats love to do. They just love to try to bail people out. Well, this is not a Democrat regime, or not regime, I guess you could say. Government, it's a Republican government right now. And that's what Democrats love to do. They love to bail out stuff, right? And hook it on the government. And that's why we're in the deficit we're in right now, because of bullshit like loan forgiveness and bailouts and all this other crap, handouts. And enough is enough, all right? People got to pay up. And if you're irresponsible, that's on you. Simple, right? Simple as that. What's so hard about taking responsibility for your own actions, right? That's the problem with people. People don't, take responsibility, right? They want to blame Trump for everything because what? Think about what Trump and Elon's doing, all right? Let's see here. They're taking fiscal responsibility. All right, because of overspending over all these years, what they got to do? Well, the cuts got to come from somewhere, all right? They just can't come out of thin air. And once you start investigating all these different organizations, and you start to find out, wow, man, these are just straight up, just taking money, right? Just under the guise of some, USAID or whatever, Department of Education, right? You find out, man, they're just siphoning money through that stuff, right? And then what are people getting out of it, right? We're just paying it. We're not getting nothing out of it. And so they went in there and start, snipping and cutting away stuff, and yet they're the ones getting threatened for doing something good, right? And making people responsible. All right, look at all this clown stuff, right? Protesting, dealership shot up, protesting at Tesla for what? Because they're doing the right thing. All right. If anybody's inciting any sort of incitement at all, these demonstrators who are torching dealerships and blocking entryways to doors and all that, sounds like liberal Democrats to me. Progressive clowns to me. All right. So yeah, Maxine Waters got to get off the dinosaur and maybe go be some sort of Walmart store greeter, mind her own business. All right, and just let the government continue to do its job it's doing right now. All right, it's all about personal responsibility, and they're just mad because they're getting their money siphoning cut. You know what I'm saying? All their cut is getting cut. All right, all under the guise of all the bullshit lies and stuff all these years, and they're losing their cut, and so it hurts. Because you're losing money. But for the sake of being a patriotic American, and that's what it's all about, well, there you go. That's the message here, is trying to cut all that corruption. And the Democrats are just mad that that's what's happening. All right, so that's just what we got going on today. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Like I said, subscribe. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, and daily content. It's all about personal responsibility. I mean, what's so bad about that, right? Manage your money better. And that's what the government's doing. That's what this whole student loan thing is all about. Just take your personal responsibility. Other than that, thanks. I'll see you next one.